They invited the Weaglers, who lived in the East, to come have who pudding and famous roast beast. They drank some Biswibbit and snacked on fried gruel. And then Mr. Bizzlebork stood on a stool. He opened his mouth and he said, "I have news. The forests are burning because of the Jews."
Yeah, that's it right there. That's the line.
Oh, man, you're right. I never caught that. You're listening to Questionable Material, produced in New York by Jack Helmuth and Brian Sack. QMpodcast.com. Achievable Olympics.
I was wondering if I'm a qualified athlete for the Olympics. I've always wanted to win the gold.
Absolutely. You qualify. What is it that you do?
Oh, I'm a comedy writer. I like to sit around and I write jokes, but I also I like video games.
Okay, well, there's a couple different categories that I think right off the bat you might be good for. There's the tennis ball putt.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that, please.
Well, are you familiar with shot put?
Of course.
Well, as you know, those shot put balls are quite hefty.
I tried to pick one up once. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, they're heavy. So what we thought was, well, what would level the playing field for those of us who want to be shot putters but don't really want to deal with the heaviness of a traditional shot put? And I thought tennis balls.
I mean, tennis balls are no walk in the park, but I can lift them. They
are something that's accessible to 98% of the global community. And so therefore we thought we opened up that event and that filled up pretty quickly. But would you like to represent a particular country or state or something?
They're by countries and by states?
Yeah, well, we're trying to, what we found was that we had 10 slots for the tennis ball put team, and those filled up very quickly. So we thought, well, there are 50 states, so why not break it down to states as well? So now we have 500 slots, and there's actually one for you in Oklahoma.
Okay, never been.
And there's one in Utah.
Okay, I was there once.
And one in Idaho.
I feel like I should represent Utah.
You want to represent Utah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. So you could be on the official Utah tennis ball put team. So, the Achievable Olympics starts next Thursday. It'll be on NBC.
Proper NBC?
No, it's technically it's NNBC.
What's NNBC?
Not NBC.
I have about 1,000 of those channels on my cable.
Yeah, so it's going to be on one of those.
And have I won the gold yet?
Well, you have to participate, and there's a bunch of different levels. I mean, first of all, 3 medal categories is a little light, if you ask me. Gold, silver, bronze. Yeah, I get it, but it's unfair. And there's plenty of other metal out there in the world. There's platinum, there's titanium, there's tin, there's aluminum or aluminium if you're from the UK. There is franconium. Mercury, which is a hell of an award to win.
Yeah. Do they hand it right to you? Do they put it right in your hand?
Well, they put it in your hand and there's a ribbon attached to it.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't hang on to the ribbon.
Okay.
Unless you're standing somewhere that's like minus 300 degrees, in which case you die, but your medal is intact.
Well, I've only been to Utah once. Does it get that cold there?
If you go to the top of the mountains in Utah, it gets quite cold. There's a lot of good skiing there. You can get yourself a martini that's exactly 1 ounce of vodka or gin. And if you ask them to give you 3 martinis and pour them in 1 normal martini glass, they'll say they can't do that.
Well, that must drive someone like you who sounds like somewhat of an alcoholic crazy.
Well, I guess, but that's what you get in some states when, people make weird rules.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird that you would bring that up. I could just hear the anger in your voice. That's all.
It's just a memory I have of being in Utah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So tell me about some other now. I feel like I may have committed too early to the tennis ball put. competition because that sounds like I might have to train, and that is definitely not my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to exert myself. I try not to get my heart rate above 50 beats per minute. So what else is there for me?
Well, in the winter sports, we have the athlon.
Oh, the athlon.
Yes.
Tell me about the athlon.
Well, you just take your pick of one activity and you just do that.
Like coloring?
We don't want to confuse people. You're going to be running on skis and then firing a rifle. That's crazy. We have the halflin.
Oh, what's the halflin?
It's a javelin that we cut in half to make it more throwable.
Okay.
And the other thing is, we're not going to get all up in your face about technique. You want to throw that thing like an ancient Greek, go for it. You just want to whip it like you're throwing a stick at a dog, go for it. It's your call. It's your style. It's your Achievable Olympics.
Can I bring some sort of machine that will toss the half javelin for me?
Yeah, the Sharper Image has one.
Great. Well, as a commentator who sits around, I do have a little bit of money that I don't use for things like keeping myself healthy or alive past 55. So I could definitely spend some money on this.
Well, you're all welcome to do it. That is one of the options. Of course, there are so many different options. We have the dash. We have the relay. The relay is a little different in that you use walkie-talkies.
So you're running around the track, and you, instead of a baton, you hand a walkie-talkie to your partner?
No, you just call them on your walkie-talkie and say, just start going now. We notice there's a lot of wasted time when people are just standing there waiting to get their relay baton.
Now, tell me about the dash.
The dash is just exactly what you'd think. It's just people running around. And, are we going to get uptight which direction you're going? No. Do we care how far you go? No. It's more about your enthusiasm. And we learned this from Paula Abdul as a judge in American Idol. It's not about your technique. It's not about your skill. It's about your enthusiasm in performing your duties as a dasher.
That's fantastic. Is there everything you're saying just sounds so active.
Yes.
And exhausting. Is there anything just like a little bit where we can sort of pull back the reins on me moving around?
Well, there's the pool noodle.
Oh, tell me about that.
You just grip on a pool noodle.
You just hold on to a pool noodle, and that's an event?
You and all the other athletes will be in a pool, a large, Achievable Olympic-sized pool, and you will hold on to your pool noodle.
Now that, I might like to switch over from the tennis putt because already I'm, breaking into a cold sweat.
I can switch you right now. You want to stick with Utah?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
They're my people. Being me, I really need ways to impress girls that are not in any way associated with being me. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So do you have an event that might really, really make a girl want to lower her standards and be with me?
You want to get the benefits of being a star athlete without actually the effort of being a star athlete.
Correct. But especially the benefit where a woman will lay in bed with you naked with the lights out so she won't see your body, but maybe with like a spotlight on her so I can see her body.
You've heard of auto-tune.
Yeah, of course.
Many musicians today take advantage of auto-tune technology, which makes lousy singers sound like okay singers. Well, there's athlon technology.
What?
It makes mediocre athletes look like good athletes through the use of digital enhancement.
That's great. Oh, what does it digitally enhance?
It digitally enhances your performance as an athlete. Now, I have to warn you, the people who are live on premises watching you compete will see the real you. But those on television will see a much better performing, better form, better style athlete. And that's what you're going to want to have your prospective love interest to watch. Do not invite them to the field. They will see you in your true colors. And that's not what you want, it sounds like.
No, it's not what anyone would want. Well, yeah, let's do that. Can you sign me up for that? Please put me down for one of those packages.
Done.
Where are the games this year?
Poughkeepsie,
New York.
Yes. we have gotten some promises from the Poughkeepsie Town Council to build a 35,000 room hotel.
Oh my gosh, that's a hell of an outlay.
Yes, they're gonna take taxpayer money. They're gonna build this ginormous hotel because it's gonna bring people to Poughkeepsie. Right now, most people, they say Poughkeepsie. What's in Poughkeepsie for me? And the answer is not a lot. But when they have a 35,000 room hotel and an arena, the Poughkeepsie Thunderdome, people are going to flood to Poughkeepsie. This is how the Olympics work, and this is how the Achievable Olympics works.
So they'll build a Thunderdome.
Yes.
Build a 35,000 room Olympic Village / hotel.
And convention center.
Wow.
And training facility.
Oh my gosh. So that must be an incredible amount of money. It'll be used for 1 week, and then what will happen with it?
Have you been to Sochi?
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Jack.
So I don't know if you saw this in the news recently, but Mr. Potato Head is no longer Mr. Potato Head.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've decided that calling Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head, two different potato head figures you can buy, was not really very 2021. It felt a little, I guess, problematic to label a fake potato as a man or as a woman, because when you have a fake plastic potato, to assign it a gender is,
unconscionable.
You know what? I didn't want to go there, but yeah, it's just unconscionable. Yeah, it is. It's just, they're removing those abominations from store shelves, and we'll be replacing them just with Potato Head.
Okay.
And and you can make it a boy or a girl if you want, or anything in between. So definitely it's going to be much easier for the kids to be able to relate to potatoes that are as genderless as the ones that grow in the ground in Idaho.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse to me than a masculine or feminine potato.
Oh, it really is, because then you have to sit down and explain to your kids that potatoes. There's a spectrum of potatoes.
Yeah. We had a dinner the other night, and my wife made baked potatoes, and one of them had a penis. And my kids were asking, Daddy, is that a man potato? And I'm like, well, no, let's talk about this.
Yeah, that's really smart. Where does your wife shop for her potatoes?
Whole Foods.
Did you say Whole Foods?
No, I didn't.
You said instead
Whole Foods.
Oh, I'm not familiar with Whole Foods.
It's like organic foods that are sexier and sassier and a little more liberal.
Really?
They're just a little more laid back, less restrained, more freewheeling.
Okay. So something you would typically get like at Whole Foods would be some like free range grass fed beef, for example. Like what would they sell that at Whole Foods?
Free love ass fed beef.
Wait a minute. They feed the cows up their pooper?
No. It's just an expression. They get it on in the grass, if you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure I want to feed that beef to my kids.
Free loving beef.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Eek. Okay, and what about something like organic vitamin D infused 2% milk?
Well, they have orgasmic vitamin D infused 2% milk from Pretty Titties.
Okay. All right.
It's Whole Foods.
It's Whole Foods from Pretty Titties, you said?
Yes.
So anyway, fortunately, they've made this wonderful decision to strip gender from the potato heads. And I was wondering, I hear that there are a bunch of sort of classic toys that are going to be changing their toys in some fashion to really sort of fit with the times, to not be so offensive and exclusionary and stuff. And I was wondering if you could tell me about some of the changes in toys that we can look forward to that are coming up.
Yeah, I've actually been on the board of the Toy Equity Council, and I've had a lot to do with these kind of decisions, because I believe these are all in the best interest of society.
Yep. And
growth and moving forward and being progressive and leaning in.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. Well, thank you for your service on the council.
Thank you.
So I was wondering, here's a classic, I know my son loves these. I know your kids love this sort of thing. G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So what sort of big changes can we expect to G.I. Joe in 2021?
Well, I mean, first of all, G.I. Joe suggests a male.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be changing it to G.I.J.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, G.I.J. will still have some weapons. Of course, it's a military force. It has to have it. But there'll also be different modules that you can add to your G.I.J. figurines. There'll be different outfits. I mean, sure, there's the military outfit, but then there's also the nightclubbing outfit, the gender nonconforming outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Why do soldiers have to wear fatigues? Why can't they go to battle in a lavender onesie? Well, the answer is they can, because we need to think, we need to be open-minded, we need to be equitable and inclusive. They need training, military training, of course.
Yeah.
But they also need anti-racism training. So there'll be modules you can add to your G.I.J. force.
Mm-hmm.
And also there'll be a diversity of characters. Obviously the figurines can't just be white dudes.
Sure.
There need to be strong role models for all races, all religions. There'll be obviously Black and Asian, Native American, who are kind of like, they're on the G.I.J. fighting force, but they're kind of like, but wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got, you have the Christian forces, the atheist forces, the Jewish forces, the Muslim forces. And it's going to be a diverse range of figures.
And you said Scientology G.I. Joe is sort of going to be controversial. What's the deal with that one?
Well, the Scientology G.I. Joe is very short and arguably gay, but will kind of push the Scientology message amongst these other forces.
No, I love arguably gay action figures. I try to always buy them for my kids.
Yeah, that's right. My kids had the Paul Lynde action figure.
Right. Oh, my son still loves to play with the Rock Hudson one, and he still argues with me. No, Daddy, he is straight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And it's like, I love those arguments you can have with your kids over toys. Those are arguments you'll never forget.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really great. And there are some classic characters in G.I. Joe. What sort of changes are you going to make to someone like Sgt Slaughter?
Well, I think Slaughter has a negative connotation, I think, to anybody they know right off the bat. Slaughter is kind of a negative. So Sergeant Hugs. It'll be with 2 G's.
Oh, that's nice.
It suggests warmth, but it's not necessarily beating you over the head with it. And he's missing a left arm.
Oh, okay. How's he going to hug people?
Well, with one arm. I mean, we don't want to be ableist and suggest that, an embrace requires 2 arms. You can do it with 1 arm. You can do it with 2 legs.
Okay. It gets a little humpy, though, doesn't it?
Sometimes if you've been hugged by somebody with 2 legs, then yes.
One of the most enjoyable things about G.I. Joes are like the vehicles. You've got like this cool, boat with missiles and machine guns on them, and, ATVs with, rocket launchers.
Yeah.
How are you going to change some of the vehicles to be a little bit more 2021?
Well, there's one that it's got 6 wheels, 6 really hardcore looking rubber wheels that are basically bulletproof. Yeah. And it's
nice.
A driver and co-driver kind of positions in the front. And in the back, you have a team that enters from the back, and they monitor the hate crime radar. And so that's a giant dish. Okay.
Yeah. How do they determine hate crimes?
It's just kind of like, I think that's offensive to me. That's a hate crime. And then it just kind of focuses in. The radar dish will focus in, and it can launch a projectile at the hater.
Oh, that's really nice. So Cobra Commander must do all his work just on Twitter, saying like semi-objectionable things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Well, G.I. Joe, I mean, that's great improvements, Brian.
Well,
Thank you for your input on that. G.I.J. Now, here's an interesting one. The Rubiks Cube.
Yep.
Now, there's nothing offensive about a Rubik's Cube. There's nothing wrong about that. We're not going to look back history is not going to look back at a Rubik's Cube and say, what were we thinking?
Well, I disagree. And our panel came to the conclusion that a Rubik's Cube is like a standardized test. It's unfair. Not everyone can complete it. Not everyone gets that satisfaction of turning that jumble of colors into solid squares on each side. So what do? Well, you make all the sides one color.
Okay. Oh.
Then you can twist away to your heart's content. You can be good at it. You can be bad at it. But at the end, when you put that cube down, whether it's 10 seconds after it was handed to you or 2 minutes, you're going to be correct.
Wow, that's great. So I'm guessing it's 6 sides, 9 little squares on each side. So that would be 54 squares. Just of gray? There'll
be multiple colors. Because why would we limit it? I mean, first of all, one color suggests that one color is better than another.
Right.
So
that's
if you
a good
do
point.
All the colors, then everybody's happy. If you're a yellow kind of person, if you're a green person, if you're a blue person, red, black, white, gray, whatever, you'll be happy with the new Rubik's Cube.
That's great. And all of your favorite colors will be on the Rubik's Cube, and you're a winner the second you pick it up.
Yes.
You've solved the Rubik's Cube the minute you put it in your cart.
It is one of the most equitable decisions we've made. When you talk about equity of outcomes, a solid color Rubik's Cube is the answer.
That's great, Brian. Thank you for doing this.
Well, you know what? I'm here to help. I'm here to help us move forward.
I've always felt bad because, not only could I never solve it, but my kids couldn't. They're 8 and 9. And I hate for them to think that, it would take a little bit of work for them to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to teach my kids.
Yeah. My older son was actually very into the Rubik's Cube and knew how to solve it, learned the little algorithms, the tricks that you use to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very proud of him at the time. But now I realize what he did is what G.I.J. would call a hate crime.
Yeah, he would. G.I.J. would absolutely send a missile at your son.
Yeah, exactly. For being, ableist in his way.
Absolutely. Now, I feel bad for all those kids. Now, your 13-year-old son never figured out the Rubik's Cube, and he turned into a prostitute. Is that right?
He's a delinquent. Yeah.
Yeah. God almighty. I'm very sorry. And that's what can happen if you can't solve something.
When you take away equity of outcomes, you get things that are different.
Yeah. Oh, that's chilling. Let's move on from that. I don't even want to think about that. And what about the Viewmaster? You remember the old Viewmaster? You put in the cartridges and you hold it up to your face.
Oh, yeah.
You look through it. Wow, fun toy.
Yes.
Well, what's wrong with the Viewmaster?
The Viewmaster has been traditionally exclusive.
What do you mean?
Well, when you've looked through it, it takes pictures of landmarks, of accomplishments, mainly by, Western European society.
Yeah, I guess so.
The Big Ben, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Eiffel Tower, the Great Flugenfork of Norway.
Yeah, okay.
And they have not focused enough on the achievements outside of the Western world. So it's basically a Western chauvinist viewing device.
I guess so. So what's the fix?
Well, the fix is to have more photo wheels, as we call them, to put into the Viewmaster that will be more inclusive of other cultures and their achievements.
Okay.
Like the great mud huts of Huangkao, which don't get enough attention. The raised village of Central African Republic.
Oh, okay.
So they don't know the name of it. The sign was actually burned down in the burning down of the village, but it's an achievement. It's a thing that exists outside of this Western world.
Yeah.
Llamas.
Just a picture of a couple llamas in a desert or wherever Peru it would be.
Peru loves llamas. They have llamas. They have the child soldiers of Congo.
Okay, right.
The narco syndicates. There's beautiful narco syndicate labs that are very state of the art.
Yeah, poppy fields.
Yeah, poppy fields of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It needs to be more, have a more diverse view of the world.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to get my kids some photos of poppy seeds and child soldiers.
I'm excited for Christmas.
I am too. Here's, an all-time classic. They're still around. We have one in our house. Cabbage Patch dolls, the must-have, impossible item to find for Christmas in 1984, 1985. An all-time classic toy. Now, how are you guys revamping Cabbage Patch dolls to make them not so darn offensive?
Every Cabbage Patch doll will come with a birth certificate, which is what they were known for, and a pouch filled with a variety of genitals, and they're Velcro. And you'll be able to stick the genitals on and create the Cabbage Patch that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want 2 boobs and a penis, you got it. You want 1 boob and a vagina, you got it. You want a vagina for breasts, not a problem. You want a vagina penis breast, no problem. And then what you do is you get together with your friends and you can all mix around your different genitals and plug them all in and create some really fascinating and biologically acceptable and real creatures.
That's great.
Yes.
God, kids are so lucky nowadays.
They really are.
Real quick, last one.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Every kid has Hot Wheels. Boys, girls, you get a little toy car, you zoom, you're 4 or 5 years old, you're doing that whole thing. Awesome. And they're cheap, so you can get them for like 99 cents nowadays. It's great. What's wrong with a Hot Wheel?
Well, they promote gasoline, fossil fuels usage.
And I guess.
Yeah.
What?
So the future is electric vehicles, and that's why it'll be strictly Teslas and Chevy Volts.
Okay. I guess so. If you buy your kid a Chevy Volt Hot Wheel, what feature would it have?
It bursts into flames.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Spontaneously.
So you don't know when it's going to happen.
You never know.
Child's car.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. And then the Tesla, the gull-wing doors has gull-wing doors on both sides.
Yeah.
But only one works. So it's it makes your kid think about logistical challenges. Well, how do I get my family out of the SUV if the only gull-wing door that opens is facing a wall?
Yeah, to get kids ready for life's challenges.
Yes, especially if they get a Tesla.
Okay, well, there you go. Great stuff, Brian. I really appreciate you changing the face of toys, for future generations.
I just want kids to be happy.
That's all this is designed for.
My friend Brad.
Yeah, I know your friend Brad.
He had a screening.
Of what?
Of his new movie called Blood.
Oh, is that the one with Skeet Ulrich?
It is. Yeah.
Wow.
It's got Skeet Ulrich in it. He's playing a dad, and the movie's super creepy. Mm-hmm. And there was some, back in the olden times, you used to have screenings in a screening room.
Sure.
Like at the Directors Guild Theater. So it was pretty cool. But this is just in your living room now because they just stream them.
Also, in the old days, you used to have movie stars in your movies. But anyway, okay, so he's got this new movie and this is real, so you can
It's real. Yeah, it's called.
Listeners can find this movie on IMDb and see Brad's name and see that this is a real person.
Yeah, when it comes out, it's called Blood, and this was the rough cut, so it's kind of funny because there are certain things in it that the graphics haven't been done yet. So there's supposed to be this very scary tree, but it's actually just right now it's just the stump. And then it's on the top it said VFX coming. So you're watching the movie oh, it's a scary tree. But anyways, very scary movie. Skeet did a very good job. All the actors did. It's a super creepy movie. Do you like horror movies?
No, I hate horror movies.
Do you really?
I really do. I do not. I find no joy in them.
Oh, that's his forte. But he also does other things. And as you know, he likes to. He really wants to give you a role. He's looking to hire you so badly. He sees the potential that you have, and so he gave me 3 scripts for you to audition for. And as you know, he insists that you read it cold. You haven't seen it before. You have to do a cold read, and you can't break character or you can't have the role. He's strict that way.
He is strict that way. Look, if he's casting Skeet Ulrich, then I know I have a chance to be a lead in a movie. A doughy 46-year-old has a chance to be a movie star in Brad's world. And I want to do it. I want to get out of the house and make a movie. Well,
then here's your first opportunity. It's It's coming your way.
Great. I'm going to open it, having never seen this.
And
I've never read what is about to enter my inbox.
This is a new movie called The Modern Artist.
Ooh.
And it's about...
Oh, someone's after an Oscar, I think.
I believe it's shot in New York, so...
Oh, perfect. So I haven't. I've opened it. I have not begun reading it.
Okay. It's about a modern artist. All right. So Interior Art Gallery. Famous art critic Arthur Delancey, who I'll be playing, enters the gallery where an exhibit is underway. Jonathan Naylor, the artist that you'll be playing, recognizes him and approaches.
Oh, Mr. Delancey, what a pleasant surprise. I thought you flew back to London.
I changed my itinerary after being told by yet another person that your exhibit was a must-see.
Oh, thank you. I told everyone how flattered I would be if you came. I'd be happy to show you around.
That would be most appreciated. I'll just put my wet umbrella in that bucket full of umbrellas over there.
Oh, no, that's not an umbrella stand. That's actually one of my newest pieces.
Incredible. It looks just like a 5-gallon bucket with umbrellas in it.
Yes, I call it Et tu, Brute. It's a reflection on the assassination of Julius Caesar. The umbrellas represent the assassin's daggers, and the 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot represents Julius Caesar's back.
Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. It was challenging.
I can only imagine. Oh my, what have we here? Someone must have stolen the canvas of this painting and just left the frame.
Actually, it's just an empty frame. To demonstrate how beauty is in the eye of the beholder, we all look at it and see something different.
Brilliant.
What do you see?
I see a blue dot. Might I ask what you see?
Yesterday, I saw a beautiful winter landscape, but today I see Jennifer Aniston eating a quiche made from cat butts.
Truly genius. Oh my, it appears as though an aged Asian woman is having a baby in the middle of the gallery.
That's my girlfriend, Yoko Ono. Every half hour, she gives birth to a potato.
Ah, a celebration of motherhood.
And then that potato is sliced and fried in peanut oil.
Of course, insightful commentary on how childhood affects us.
And then the chips are distributed to the people in the gallery to be eaten.
Signifying how society consumes you.
Now I see why you're considered the world's greatest art critic.
Oh, you flatter me.
Oh, I can do more than flatter you.
My dear boy, what are you doing? Oh my, is this one of your pieces? You're very good at modern art.
Thank you.
People are taking pictures of my installation. Oh my, I'm going to make a Jackson Pollock.
Aim for the canvas. I thought maybe in the first half of that, I didn't break. I thought, okay, I think I got a roll.
It was going pretty strong for you.
Yeah. I
was feeling like you might do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wheels fell off.
Wheels fell off and into my mouth.
Well, strange film.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's too bad. Well, that's okay because we have 2 more rolls.
Okay, great. I'm really want to get one. Sounds like you just sent it.
I did.
Okay.
All right. This film is called Incredible Hospital. Set in a hospital, obviously. Okay. Interior, doctor's office, day. I'll be playing the role of Bemis. Bemis enters Dr. Jarvis's office. You'd be playing the role of Dr. Jarvis.
Ooh, great. Okay. Mr. Bemis, the operation is over and your wife is recovering.
How did it go?
Well, when your wife yelled, I realized we'd forgotten the anesthesia, but I conked her and she went sleeps.
You conked her?
Yeah, with a conker.
What's a conker?
The thing you put out fires with?
You hit her on the head with a fire extinguisher?
Okay, it's called conking in the medical profession. At any rate, it was a fairly normal liposuction.
C-section.
C-section?
Yes.
What? You mean the baby one?
Yeah, you were delivering our daughter Moira?
You named a clump of fat cells?
We named our baby. It was a C-section, not liposuction.
Oh my God. That explains why the fat clump had eyes and was crying.
Oh my God.
I kept telling Nurse Steve that I'd never seen a clump of fat cells with an umbilical cord before.
Oh, jeez.
That's what. Sorry. That's what Nurse Steve said before he quit.
What did you do with Moira?
Okay, your wife is in the recovery room.
No, my daughter, who you mistook for fat cells.
Oh, she's around. We just need to schedule a trashectomy.
My baby's in the trash?
We call it hazardous waste bin in the medical profession.
This is so much malpractice that I think I might wind up owning this hospital.
Trust me, you don't want it. It's a big headache. Well, of course, we have a whole closet dedicated to aspirin, so maybe you do want it. LOL.
You are incredibly unprofessional and I want you fired.
That's what we call a jobectomy.
Do you have a supervisor?
I do, but I only use it when I play tennis.
Okay. Firstly, I need you to find my baby, and then we need to work on your careerectomy.
Okay, I just need to use the bathroom.
Fine.
All done. The supervisor joke may be the dumbest joke we've ever told in a year and a half of doing the show.
Shut you down.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well, that's a shame.
Woo.
Well, we got one more chance.
Okay.
This movie is more Brad's type of movie. It's a horror movie, and it's called Hunted by Vampires.
Well, it sounds, you know what, not my type, but it sounds sellable. It sounds like the type of movie that gets bought nowadays.
You'd be good for it because he wants you for the role of public defender David Jennis.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
great. I just got it and I've opened it, so I'm ready. Whenever you are.
I'm reading the part of Mike Benton. I'm in the interrogation room. Okay. Interior police interrogation room. Public defender David Jennis enters the room holding a briefcase and a cup of coffee. He sits down across from Mike Benton.
Hi, David Jennis. I've been appointed to defend you.
I swear I didn't do it. You're going to think I'm nuts, but it was a vampire. You got to believe me.
Vampire, huh?
I know. I sound like a loon, but it's what I saw. I know it.
Well, looks like you're in luck because of all the public defenders in Orange County, you got assigned the one who knows vampires exist.
Are you messing with me?
No, I've believed in vampires ever since I caught one attacking my wife years ago.
Holy cow. Did he get her?
No, she's one of the lucky ones. I got back from my trip a day earlier than scheduled. I came home, walked upstairs, opened the bedroom door, and lo and behold, I hear my wife moaning in fear while being attacked by a vampire.
No way.
Yup. Lucky for her, his face wasn't planted in her neck yet. He'd only made it to just below the belly button.
What did you do?
Well, turn on the light. My wife saw me, immediately realized I was there to help, and screamed.
Wow.
Yeah, the vampire leapt up and ran down the stairs as fast as lightning.
He didn't fly out the window?
No, the window wasn't open. It must have come through the front door because that's how it left.
Hot damn, that's scary.
And then about a year later, he attacked again.
No way.
I was supposed to be camping, but it started pouring rain. So I went home and quietly entered the house so as not to spook my wife.
And?
I couldn't believe my luck. Right there in front of the fireplace was my poor naked wife on all fours and moaning in fear as she tried to crawl away from the vampire. He was right behind her, pulling her hair and I think trying to bite her neck.
Oh, gosh. What did you do?
Well, I made a crucifix with my fingers and walked right up to them. As soon as my wife saw me, she let out a scream of relief and the vampire bolted out of the house.
That's one determined vampire.
Yup. Months later, I was flying to Europe but forgot my passport. So I go home to get it. I hear the water running in the bathroom. I quietly open the door and sure enough, there's my wife in the shower, eyes closed, completely unaware that a vampire was right behind her and just about to nibble on her neck.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Well, I yelled, "The power of Christ condemns you." My wife screamed in relief and the vampire bolted out of the shower and flew right past me.
As a bat?
No, he'd taken the form of Mookie Betts. So Mookie Betts is traded to the Dodgers, and this is the first role his agent got him.
I guess Skeet Ulrich wasn't available.
Oh, man. That's the big reveal at the end of this, that it's Mookie Betts. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, damn.
Well,
damn.
Just to help my memory, did I get any of those roles?
No. But like multiple times over, no.
Oh, yeah. All right. I mean, you don't need to rub it in.
You know what? Listen,
yes or no.
Brad has hope for you. I know he sees something in you that nobody else sees, but we're gonna get one at some point.
Yeah.
You just gotta stay in character.
Okay. I'll work on it for next time.
That's the first rule of acting. Stay in character.
Yep, of course. I need to do better. I'm sorry.
Do the work.
All right. Well, that concludes another episode of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian and Mookie Betts.
Some great new reviews. Thank you very much for those.
Those were awesome reviews that we got. Really, really wonderful. And we also got a letter from a listener the other day through what email address, Brian?
contact@qmpodcast.com.
And as usual, our listeners are super, like they joke around with us, and it makes it feel like they're in on the whole thing, and it makes it feel like a big, large family. You guys are really cool. So thank you for that.
You're cool. Thank you for listening, Jack.
I've told you, not a fan.
That was Questionable Material. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to review the podcast. Make sure to visit qmpodcast.com.